Welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fandom's welcome. I'm Nathan.
I'm Brad.
And today we're doing our review of A Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time was directed by Ava DuVernay and stars Storm Reid, Oprah Winfrey, and Chris Pine. So Nathan, what's this movie about?
So this movie's about Meg Murray and about her father, who wants to travel space and time in a unique way, and then suddenly one day disappears.
Yeah, along the way, Meg meets these three strange beings, and with her brother and her friend, they go off to find her father.
And along the way, they meet what is necessarily darkness.
So, what were your overall impressions of this movie?
So, okay, I'll be honest. From the start, I wasn't that interested in this movie. I did not care. It just from all the promos, you know, they really marketed this movie, and I'm just like, I don't really care. I know it's Disney. I'm gonna go see it, but I don't care. It was boring. It was honestly boring.
Yeah, I was pretty bored during this movie, but I don't know. I'm a lot less critical of this movie because I knew that it was a kids movie going into it. I know it wasn't made for us, but you have a whole thing about the marketing that we'll go into later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, yeah, we didn't really like this movie. Like, I wasn't immersed at all into it. I was pretty bored.
Yeah, I feel like you liked the first part of the movie where I felt like it was slow. I felt like it didn't pique my interest till like the third act, which is technically not even that good either. But then it started. I think once they got to the worlds and stuff, then it really kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But it is a very visually beautiful movie, and I think Ava does a beautiful job in that aspect, but also doesn't. Like, I feel like some things do look bad too.
Yeah, the effects look bad, but the on-site places where you could tell that they didn't use CG.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so to all the different countries and places that they traveled actually looked really good. So, what did you think of the actors in this movie? Because we had some big names, like they sold it with Oprah, they had Reese Witherspoon, and they had Mindy Kaling in it.
Yeah, and something I will add, nothing was under our seats, so don't worry. Oprah didn't surprise us or anything. But, so, to get back to the actors and the kids, really, there was only two standouts for me. I thought everyone was kind of bad in it, honestly. The only ones that stood out to me were Meg herself.
Yeah.
And, honestly, weirdly enough, Oprah. Like, I actually really enjoyed... Like, Meg, to me, felt like the most realist in that movie. She... You know, you see her at the beginning, while it was boring to me, you see her go through life, like, she doesn't have her father, she don't know what happened, she feels like, did he leave me, did he not want me, she doesn't know, and her life's just not easy, it's hard, and school at that time is not helping it at all, and you really feel with her.
Yeah, that's why I liked the first act of the movie, because she introduces her. I think that's the best part of the movie, but it's like the school and just the regular part. But
yeah, and then we meet her brother, which what was his name? Christopher Wallace. And it
was
doesn't.
it Christopher Wallace?
I think it was Christopher Wallace.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna look it up.
All right, let's look at it, because this bothered me in the movie. This, I don't know why, it bothered me so bad in the movie. I understand, like, some people have two names, but they just kept calling him Christopher Wallace. Like, why did you
Apparently Christopher Wallace is Notorious B.I.G. That's what came up.
It's definitely not the B.I.G. Don't worry.
Yeah, so it's not Christopher Wallace. We looked it up. It's Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace.
Doesn't matter that much.
But still... Why, like, it just felt like, you know, this is a family, but for some reason, every time they kept saying Charles Wallace, it felt like he was like definitely a kid that they adopted.
Like I said, my thing was that it didn't bother me at all, because they call Christopher Robin, they call him by both his names. Yeah. It didn't bother me. I actually thought his character was fine in the first part of the movie. I thought, you know, he was supposed to be this brainy kid, and he was an outgoing kid. And he played his part well in the first part of the movie, but
didn't work for me. He just seemed annoying. He just seemed like he wasn't made. He seemed too smart. Like, it just his place just didn't fit for me. I just felt it just didn't work.
So yeah, after the first act of the movie, for me, I mean, there's a cool scene in it or two.
Yeah.
Like the visuals are cool, but to me, it's just all over the place. The movie, like they're just going from place to place.
It is, and when Oprah shows up, which, like I said, I think that scene when she first shows up it didn't look that great, but I don't know, I enjoyed her character. She felt like one of those, like, you know, in a way, anime characters that you feel like, okay, they're the boss. If they're the ones that are gonna take down the big evil, but she, like, I don't know, she had a presence to her, and I enjoyed her. I felt like, you know, for what these beings were, she fit that part, and she didn't feel too overly cheesy.
Yeah. So let's go into final thoughts here. Yeah, it was just a boring movie. It didn't really resonate with me at all. I just kept on thinking. It didn't really feel like a long movie, however, but I just wasn't immersed at all into it. I
wasn't. Nope. And walking out of that movie, I felt like I was just like, I don't have an interest to watch this again.
To be fair, we didn't have any interest going to see it in the first place, but because it wasn't really a movie for us.
No, and like you said, you believe it's definitely a movie for kids, which I do agree. I agree that it is definitely a movie for kids. But when going to see other movies, we always saw promotions for this saying that, like, oh yeah, we're so glad you're gonna see this in the movie theaters. I felt like it was marketed to movie goers, like this is gonna be a good movie for everyone to watch. And I think for kids, yes, maybe even for families, but for like moviegoer, like, no, I don't. I think the like us, like a casual moviegoer, we didn't find enjoyment out of it, or don't really want to see it ever again.
All right, so are you ready to go into rankings? And go through our rankings?
Okay, so the way we do our rankings is with sorta okay, that's a C. Sorta good, that's a B. Sorta spectacular, that's an A. And sorta perfect, A+. The whole shebang. Go buy it on Blu-ray, go see it, donate money, everything. Then you have sorta bad, which is a D, and then sorta awful, which is an F. And with my ranking, I hate to say it, I gotta give it a sorta bad. I did not like this movie at all. There was a couple things that saved it for me from awful, which were like Oprah and then Meg, the main character, and some of the visuals, and that saved it for me.
From the perspective of a kid, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a sort of okay review. I'll give it a C just because I still believe it's a kid's movie, and if I saw that as a kid, I think I'd probably enjoy it a lot more.
I agree.
So,
I think,
like, if you were in elementary school, like all the kids we saw it with in the theater came out of the theater and said they enjoyed it.
yeah, but I don't think you should make a movie just strictly for kids, or if you do, strictly market it as that. Where, like I said, I felt like this movie was marketed towards everyone.
Just because of that whole Oscar thing that they did with the movie.
Yep. So that's our review of Wrinkle in Time. We hope you like, comment, share, subscribe. We're glad that you came and watched our video, and we hope you have a good day. Thank you.